Okay, what's going on, everybody? We are here. We are live, back to back live streams. Thank you all for joining me today. If you haven't already, as usual, please make sure you hit the like button because that is one of the most important things you can do for me on this channel. What it does, that helps make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get the notification, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you are one of those ghost watchers, always watching my videos, watching my streams, but not subscribing, please do me a favor and yourself a favor by hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, but most importantly, please make sure you are following me on Telegram at TD Media Group to help circumvent social media censorship and shadow banning. You will never miss a notification. You won't have to deal with YouTube nonsense if you are following me on Telegram. Don't be like don't need, aka don't need no man. Stop telling me I do. I know your full username with your other account too, who's always trolling me, telling me how they're ghost watching me. Okay, don't be like don't need. Make sure you subscribe and follow me on Telegram. All right. So now with the introduction out of the way, let's get the show underway. Once again, this is back-to-back live streams. I'm going to try to make this one significantly shorter, just for the sake of time. So let's get into it right here. Right, look at this information. I don't know if you guys are aware of this or not, but there was another attack. Right, as far as I'm concerned, another attack. Texas rancher killed by suspected cartel IED on Mexican border as authority warn of growing threat. Once again, this is occurring again. I think since Trump's inauguration. So what is that? 37 days, over the last 37 days, this is now the third incident like this that we've covered. The third one, though this is the first situation in which an IED has exploded, taking the life of someone, right? I covered a story weeks ago of the warnings and the pamphlets that were put out on both sides of the border, that were put out in English and in Spanish, warning those that travel along the border and work along the border as ranchers to be on the lookout for planted IEDs and bombs by the cartel. And now here we have it here, a man who lost his life, actually two who lost their life behind these senseless attacks, which is what this is. Now, I'm definitely going to butcher the names of these two individuals. They are Mexican. No disrespect, and my apologies ahead of time. But then these names can be a little bit difficult and tricky to read sometimes. But let's get into it. A Texas border rancher was killed near the border by a suspected cartel IED earlier this month, the Texas Department of Agriculture told the Post Tuesday, as officials issued an urgent safety warning for the Rio Grande Valley. Rancher Antonio Céspedes Saldierna, 74, who worked on both sides of the border along with Horacio López Peña, were killed in the blast in Tamaulipas, Mexico, which is just south of Brownsville, Texas. Lopez's wife was hospitalized with injuries. The article continues to read, and this is the gentleman here. Rest in peace to him, right? Rest in peace to him. And this is where the explosion occurred, just south of Brownsville, Texas. As you can see here, this is horrible. And I'm looking at the live chat at the same time. Yeah, his wife too. Fortunately, his wife did survive. Look at this here. You see this big gaping hole in the ground. It's clearly where the explosion happened. His red pickup truck is completely just mangled and ripped to shreds. Unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Let's carry on, right? Jesus, Saldierna. I will say, we'll say his last name is Saldierna. Once again, my apologies. Saldierna was driving on his ranch when he hit an explosive device, causing it to detonate, according to KRGV. Texas Agriculture Commissioner Sid Miller said the deadly explosion is part of a growing threat posed by cartel activity along our southern border and encourages ranchers to exercise extreme caution in the area. And I quote, I encourage everyone in the agricultural industry to stay vigilant, remain aware of their surroundings, and report any suspicious activity to law enforcement. Additionally, you can avoid dirt roads and remote areas. Refrain from touching unfamiliar objects that could be explosive devices. Limit travel to daylight hours. Stay on main roads and avoid cartel controlled regions. No one living along the border and working along the border should be having to worry about this type of stuff. There shouldn't be any type of warnings being put out at all by the Texas Agriculture Commissioner to anybody that's in the area. But this is just the reality of what is. Saldierna's son, Ramiro Céspedes, a U.S. Army veteran who was injured by an IED during a deployment, was shocked to learn his father's killing back home. So his son was a U.S. Army veteran who was deployed and injured by an IED himself when he was overseas. And I quote as we round this article out, he stated, I consider this a terrorist attack because if I went to war to fight terrorists and I'm seeing the same thing here, to me, my personal opinion, it is a terrorist attack. And I'm right there with him. I mean, what else do you call this, right? When you're planning IEDs along the U.S.-Mexico border, what do you call that? These are terror attacks. That's just the reality of what this is. And it further justifies that terror designation that's been put on these folks by President Trump, because that's what's happening here. They're not going after specific targets, which obviously you don't want anybody being targeted, right? But it's not like they're going specifically at Border Patrol or the U.S. Army men and women who are patrolling the border now that the border is militarized. They're not doing that. You're just planting explosive devices along the border to which anybody can come across it. Any civilian on both sides of the border can come across it, step on it, drive over it, whatever, and then boom, you're out of here. And what drives me crazy the most, because I want to get into a quick video clip before we get out of here, of a recent bust that went down in Houston. I believe it was in Houston, Texas, ICE raid, is in this video here. Let me pull this up for you guys, right? Look at this. Let me mute it though first. So this story that we're going to listen to right now of this ICE raid that occurred in Houston, there's kind of, you could say, two separate stories almost, right? Depending on, the news outlet you're listening to. It was about 118 to 120 people busted. In the first video that I watched covering this situation, it was a CBS video. It was from CBS, right? DNC Mainstream Media Press. And CBS did what we expect CBS to do as a DNC media outlet, is that they turned it into fear mongering. Oh my God, there's people who are just driving to work and they got pulled over and they don't understand their rights. They spoke with, ICE and the police in Texas and they just took them away. And this is so awful. We can't believe this is happening. And then they had other folks speaking on it, saying people in the community are scared, so on and so forth and so forth. And then the video was over. Now, when you come here to Sand News, they're going to tell us the people that they were actually after, who they captured, and what was really going on in Houston when Tom Homan and the gang took down about 118, 120 people down there, right? Illegal immigrants, most of whom are criminals. Let's get into the actual news and actual information of what really happened in Houston.
Nearly 120 people were arrested this week during a massive raid at a large Houston area housing development community known as Colony Ridge, according to U.S. immigration officials. President Donald Trump's border czar, Tom Homan, said the effort was part of a larger operation.
It's a larger criminal investigation into a network, and a lot of the people we're interested in were located in that area.
Homan also said some of the migrants were apprehended at work sites, while others were arrested during traffic stops, and some had open warrants.
I know for a fact there were several predators, child predators, that were arrested for, sexual misconduct with a child. There are several of them. I know there's one that was convicted of either homicide or murder.
Authorities did not release the identities of all 118 people they arrested, though they did highlight some individuals. An ICE spokesperson in Houston said one of those arrested has been deported 3 times and was arrested on a warrant for repeated abuse of a minor from November 2008 to November 2016.
Before we allow this to play on, it is unbelievable how many violators of children they come across. That's probably the most reported on committed crime by these folks, the most that we keep hearing is the violating of children. Just over and over and over and over and over again. Every time we watch these videos, it's another violator of children. This is insanity. And these are the people that DNC lunatics are trying to protect. They're trying to protect folks like this, who shouldn't be here in the first place, and then get here and engage in this type of activity. And then you have folks that are so-called ICE activists and so-called mass deportation, anti-mass deportation activists that are crying family separation. Well, we're going to come back to this video, but let's come back over here. How come nobody cares about this family separation? Because you see the U.S. Army veteran who's lost his father and almost lost his mother due to this explosion. That's permanent family separation. He can't call his father anymore. He can't FaceTime his father anymore. He can't go visit his father. Nothing. It's over with. That's the real family separation. But they don't want to talk about this until it happens to them, right? That's the real family separation. In order to avoid the real family separation, what we need is what we have Tom Homan doing down there in Houston and what he's been doing across the country by just getting folks out the paint. Just get them out of here completely. Now let's get back into that news clip.
ICE also says authorities arrested an MS-13 gang member who had previously been deported in connection with a murder. The agency revealed various charges and convictions associated with those who were arrested, including child abuse, homicide, negligent manslaughter, theft, weapons, and drug offenses.
Listen to everything that we've heard so far. What I should have done is that I should have did a compare and contrast. I should have played the CBS video first and then played this from SAN News. The CBS video that covered this raid, they didn't talk about any of the specifics concerning who was actually taken down. None at all. The CBS video just talked about family separation. Oh my God, the people in the community are afraid. Afraid of what? Afraid that they're going to get rid of all the bad guys and make your community more safe? This is crazy.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott first revealed ICE operations at Colony Ridge Monday in a social media post saying authorities were targeting criminals and illegal immigrants, adding he, quote, worked with Tom Homan on this for months. Immigration rights advocates condemned the raid as a, quote, wave of terror directed at the Colony Ridge communities by the governor.
These people are insane. These people are lunatics. You're hearing all of these horrible people that they got rid of. And you have folks waving foreign flags saying, no, stop. Don't get rid of them. We want all the violators of children to stay right here. These people are lunatics.
Advocates condemned the raid as a, quote, wave of terror directed at the Colony Ridge communities by the governor. And one resident said the heavy police presence made them and their family fearful.
Shut up.
Colony Ridge has been a flashpoint for the immigration debate, drawing criticism from Texas Republicans and conservative activists over accusations of selling land to undocumented immigrants. Critics also say the area is plagued with cartel crime, a claim refuted by local and state police. For more on this story, download the Straight Arrow News app or visit us online.
So that does it, man. I mean, I don't know. You literally, I guess technically we still have to say suspected cartel attacks. Suspected. It's not suspected. Everybody knows it's cartel. It's just nobody else. You have these cartel attacks that are going on all across the border. Like I said, this is now the third story in the last 37 days since the inauguration that I've covered concerning this. And in the midst of these attacks, which are terror attacks, that's what they are. I mean, you got these lunatics out here that are waving foreign flags, talking about how they're in fear of ICE and how they feel, under some sort of threat. How do you not feel any sort of threat when you have the victimizers of children running around your community? You're not threatened by that. But when ICE shows up to pick these guys up, now all of a sudden it's a problem. Make it make sense, man. Make it make sense. I call them DNC lunatics for a reason. And with all that being said, that's going to do it for today's stream. It's definitely, like I said, it was going to be a short one because I just got done doing a live stream on Brandon Johnson in Chicago. What was it, about an hour ago? So I didn't want this one to run too long. So that does it for today's stream. I just wanted to make sure to get this bit of information out to you guys. Please hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platforms. Telegram. I can't stress enough to please follow me on Telegram. That is so important that you do that. Follow me on Telegram at TD Media Group. You'll never miss a notification. If you do that, you don't have to worry about YouTube playing games. And shout out to my man Saul, who keeps my family fed, who said liberal voters mad at Abbott, but not with SO. Oh, yeah, not with SEX offenders. Yeah, they're not mad with them. They're not mad of the violators of children that apparently was plaguing this area, this neighborhood in this area in Houston. They weren't worried about that. That was cool. But ICE comes. Oh, no. That's the real danger. Abbott and ICE is the real danger, not the violators of children. Make it make sense, man. And shout out to my man Simo27 who came through with the last minute buzzer beater before I ended the stream. He said some dangerous times ahead, man. Yeah. There's going to be more reports on this and I'll be here for it. So thank you all for the support. Thank you all for joining me today. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace and have a great afternoon. If you missed the Brandon Johnson Chicago stream, which you definitely need to look into, because this man, as far as his approval rating is concerned, his approval rating is in the single digits now. Unbelievable. If you're watching a replay, I'll make sure to leave that video preview right here. You'll see it right there. So anyways, I'll catch you guys later, man. Peace and have a great afternoon.